Release the Kraken!
Yarrdeharr, me hearties, and welcome to another command block tutorial slash showcase. So if you only want the showcase, just look at the first part and you'll see what I have for you today. If you want the complete tutorial and explanation of how this works, just keep watching after I've shown you what it does and you'll see how it does it. So anyway, let's get going. So what I have for you today is the turret spell, which is really cool in my opinion, and I really like it a lot. I stole the idea, I would say. I wouldn't say I stole it though. I would say I was inspired by the game Smite, which I don't know if you've seen, but it's a third-person MOBA, which is pretty cool. So you walk around like this. This is how you play the game. And you shoot your spells and stuff like this. Works like a normal MOBA, but it's really cool because it is in third person, and you're controlling with the WASD keys and stuff like that. It's really cool actually. So there's a guy in this game that is called Vulcan, and he is a god because the game is based around gods, and he has a spell where he places a turret. Now the turret doesn't do anything to him, no matter which game mode he's in, because there's no game mode in that game, of course. But it doesn't do anything to him. It's a really nice turret for him. It helps him a lot. But if you are on the enemy team, this turret is quite the... That's a word I shouldn't say on YouTube. Anyway, the turret is quite the evil thing. It does quite a lot of damage, and you wouldn't survive very long if you didn't have the crazy regen. So maybe I don't need that much regen. So if I clear, you'll see it's quite an evil tower turret, but you can kill it faster than it can kill you. And that's a good thing, because otherwise you would be in a lot of trouble. So let's see if I have another regen thing here. Nope. 110. So let's get our health back, get some hunger, and I'll show you what it does. I'll also show you a higher level spell. So we take this and we'll take the highest level. And as you can see, it is very OP. So now I have the highest level of this spell. Now for me it's no different. So if I go to survival, you see that it's not very different to me. Doesn't look very different until you're the guy on the other side, on the receiving side. Then it's a really evil spell. Really evil spell. Now let's see. I'm not sure if I can actually one-on-one this guy, as I am a really low-level guy and I don't have the best things, but it appears that I could. So maybe it's not really that overpowered anyway. But as you can see, now as I'm on the blue team, I can't activate this spell because I am not... I'm not on the red team, and this spell is built for the red team, at least right here. So that is the explanation on how the spell works. There are some other small things. You can see that it can only be placed one turret. So you can see the turret is now on cooldown, and the cooldown is over now. And if I place another one, the original turret will die. It will die. Also, it won't affect anything else, so any other zombies will not be affected. So it's only the other turret that will that will die. So let's get to the explaining part. So the system is a hybrid of pretty advanced and pretty simple. The concept is pretty simple. So we summon this guy where we are, and he will use the effect 7, which is the splash potion of harming effect on any of the blue teams around him. So that's obviously using the execute command. Now he's not moving by himself, so this zombie is a waypoint for the command blocks. Now this zombie does nothing by himself, as you saw. If I go into survival, he doesn't attack me, he doesn't move, he doesn't care about anything. He's just there for looks and for functionality, for the redstone to do its thing. So he is completely useless by himself. So let's kill him for now and dig into the redstone. So what we're doing here is that we have a few scoreboards. So objectives list. We have 2 scoreboards. So this is the same world as the blink spell. So we still have the blink scoreboard. But we have TCD and the turret. So the TCD stands for turret cooldown, and you can see it on the right side of the screen. The turret is if you have the turret and what level the spell is. So if we go into here, you can see that we are testing for a player on the red team, right here on the red team, that has the score of turrets at least 1. So the levels are 1, 2, 3, 4, and they are simply just the scoreboard 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's how simple the levels are to change and stuff like that. And if I set my score to 0, the spell will stop working. If I set it to 1, the spell will start working again. So that's how it works. So that's why we are testing for that you have at least level 1 of the turret score. And then we're using the latest thing that was in the 07, I believe, snapshot. And this is testing for the inventory slot 1 Minecraft slime ball selected item slot 1. And what we are doing here, so it's a pretty advanced thing, and I don't want it. We are testing if the inventory slot 1B is containing a slime ball, and that we have selected that item slot. So what that means, if I select this spell right now, it's in my item slot 2, because it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have turret in our 3rd slot. We have selected the 2nd slot, so this is not working if it's in the wrong slot. I put it in the right slot. Nothing is happening unless I'm holding it in my hand. So I have to hold it in my hand in the 2nd slot. So that is what this command block does. So it's making sure that we want to use this spell. What happens then is that we are affecting, we're using the same @p command here. So score turret at least 1 on the red team. We are using the same one on pretty much all of these things. So you have to have the spell, and you have to be on the red team, and we are clearing your slime balls. We're taking the slime ball away from you with all the lore and the stuff, and we are instead giving that player an enchanted book that is called Turret CD. Turret is on cooldown, so we can see here that the turret is on cooldown. We are at the same time killing the entity that is called red turret. And that is why it doesn't kill any other zombies or anything else except this guy. It's only killing the thing that is called red turret. If I would call a sheep red turret, it would kill that as well, of course, but I'm not, so that doesn't matter. After that is done, we summon the turret, the almighty turret, and you'll see how useless he actually is. So it's originally, what we're doing is we're using it using an execute command, of course, to make sure that the zombie is spawned at your location. So we're summoning the zombie with the golden armor. That's what you can see on the screen right now. Attributes, we're using a lot of attributes right here. So let's scroll through attributes. So the first attribute is movement speed. So we're using name generic movement speed base 0. So we have a zombie with golden armor, but he can't move. The next is max health. It's 10. So that's not really a lot, and that could be lowered. But if you have a diamond sword, you can punch him down kind of 2 hits, so that's pretty okay, I would say. Pretty weak health, of course, so he can't really do or take anything for himself. His attack damage is 0, so he's a really weak guy. So he can't move, he can't take any damage, and he can't attack you. And finally, he does have knockback resistance, so he doesn't escape from you when you punch him either. So he's a really easy guy to kill, and he can't really attack you back himself. So that's the point of this guy. He is just the catalyst for the redstone, and he is called the red turret, of course. And then we are setting your scoreboard of the tower cooldown to 5, and that would be 20 seconds or 30 seconds or something like that. A pretty long cooldown. But the reason it's 5 here is because it's a demonstration. It's for demonstration purpose, so you don't have to wait for the cooldown, making it a little bit of a shorter video, even though it's going to be a pretty long video. Anyway, so another thing that happens right here is that once we've set the tower cooldown to 5, we are checking for players that has the spell, so that's the score turret min 1. We're checking for people that actually have the spell on the red team, and we're testing if they have the tower cooldown of at least 1. So what that does is this command block removes 1 point each second. So if I set the score to 5, it will take 5 seconds for the score to reach 0 again. And since we're testing for if the player has at least 1 of the tower cooldown, once it reaches 0, this then becomes false and it will stop removing points from the tower cooldown. So if I just take this, I'll show you in a second actually. So once it reaches 0, you can see it's still going, but since my score is 0, it doesn't affect me and it doesn't reach the negative numbers. Once that has reached 0, which it is right now, so this is powered. So this is testing for if you have the spell, if your cooldown is 0 and you are on the red team. If all those things are true, it's time to reset the spell and give you back your fabulous items so you can kill people again. So the way we do that is that we clear the enchanted book. That is called turret cooldown. So this is a really cool thing, at least I think so. So if I actually delete this, you can see that I have 2 books. One is called Turret Cooldown and one is just called Enchanted Book, but remember we are clearing Enchanted Book. So normally that would just remove both of these items. Doesn't matter which order they are either, but if I do this, it will only remove the one that is called Turret Cooldown and leave the other Enchanted Book, which means that we could have Enchanted Books for all of the other spells as well. So by specifying the name, we can just be precise about what item we are removing. Then we are giving back the slime ball that has a lot of lore and turrets, so I'm not going to show you this entire command because it's mostly text. Anyway, that's how the core features of summoning the guy and the cooldown and what happens when I reactivate it, all of that stuff, but the damage has not been dealt yet. It's not a turret, it's an immobile, useless zombie with a name, so it's a really fancy, immobile, useless zombie. So that's what it is right now. So then we have to go to the damage dealing parts of the circuit. Finally! So what we're doing right here is these are the level 1, 2, 3, 4 damaging spells. So these command blocks right here that is being run on a clock, they are all the exactly the same command. So what I've just did here is I control clicked and I got the command block with the NBT data, and I just placed them all, and that's how they work. So what we do is that we test for the player, the red player, so the player that has the spell, but only if the spell level is 1, so it has to be at least 1, and it can't be more than 1. So only if it's 1, this will turn on and run the clock. So if I change my spell level to 2, this will now be false because my level is 2, and this will turn this one on, and the level 3 will turn this one on, and level 4 will turn this one on. And the difference between the circuits is the delay on the repeaters. So that is how I'm changing the damage output. So you can see that that's really, really fast, and this is reasonably slow. So what happens in this command block, the one that does the damage, the magical command block? It's an execute command, of course, and it's executing a command at the place of the entity called red turret. That would be that guy over there. Or would it be this guy over here? Da, da, da. So yeah, it would be right here, and it's executing the command. Effect at P, team blue R5. So that means that any blue player or the closest player within a radius of 5. So if I can get him to stand kind of in the center here, you can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's probably something like this. So any player within this area will be able to will take damage, but if you're outside, you won't actually be able to reach him. But once you go inside, you will also start to take damage. So that is the balancing. So it's not OP because you can't reach it, and it's not underpowered because you can just walk in and kill it before you take any damage. So the range makes it so that it actually works pretty well. And the effect we are using, so the potion effect we're using, is the one that is connected to the potion of harming. So that's the instant damage, and that's the level 1, of course, and that is 3 hearts of damage. And depending on the clock, of course, it will do the damage at different intervals. So it will be faster, it will do the damage more often if it's on the fast clock, of course. So that's it for the turret spell. It's a pretty fancy spell. It's slightly advanced. I would say it's a medium difficulty spell to pull off, or to build, of course. To use, it's pretty simple. You just place the turret down and you hope it kills someone for you. Anyway, if you have any ideas for future spells, you can feel to tell me in the comment section below. If you've made your own spells, you can also tell me in the comment section below and give me some pointers to where I can find it. I don't know if links works in the comment section below now. Anyway, so if you have any ideas or things that you've made yourself, tell me in the comment section below. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to leave a like, share and favorite and stuff like that. If you didn't like it, you can feel free to dislike and tell me why in the comment section below. And I shall see you next time.